Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Halloween Hangout. My name is David, and I like Halloween a little too much. So today I am talking about my favorite Scream movies. I'm ranking them from my favorite to my least favorite in that order. So with that said, let's get started. So, at number one, my favorite Scream movie is the original. It came out in 1996. To me, that you can't beat the original. It's a classic. It set the stage for the rest of the sequels. And it came out at a time when slasher films were kind of on a downhill, and not people were too much interested into them. And then Scream came out and breathed new life into the horror genre, especially the slasher film. So, credit where credit is due. And just overall, it's a great film. And it's a classic whodunit film. You know, not only was there one killer, there's two. I mean, I remember when that first was revealed in the movie theater, and I was sitting there watching it with a bunch of people, including my cousins, and we're like, whoa, what a great film. So this one, I give it 10 stars. All right. My second favorite Scream movie is Scream 2. I would say that Scream 2, it makes a great sequel. I've heard some people say they like it better than the original. Other people say it wasn't as great as they hoped it would be. But for me, the original will always be my number one, and with Scream 2 will always be my number two. I think it was a great follow-up to the original film. Scream 2 came out a year later in 97. Of course, Scream 1 made so much money, they were like, hey, let's do a sequel. And they did. And it was a hit. So, definitely love the sequel. Scream 1, Scream 2, I can watch over and over again, which I have. Movies that I watch every October. One of my favorite times of the year. So, Scream 2, I also give 10 stars. Okay, coming in at third place for my third favorite Scream movie is Scream 4. I love the 4 film. I know, I feel this is almost like the forgotten film. I hear some people talking about it, some people forget about it, but I think it was a great sequel. I will talk about the third one here down the road, but I thought the fourth one was better than the third one for sure, and it was just as good as the Scream 2. There is a lighting difference. It doesn't have that kind of a, kind of a dark tone to it. It has more of a lighter tone to it. I'm not sure what they did there with the camera work, but that never bothered me. I so enjoyed the film. It was great seeing the cast come back and everything. And this is the only film I saw in theaters with my wife. She's not a big horror movie fan, but she did go see Scream 4 with me, so I do appreciate that. This is Scream 4. I also give 10 stars. Another movie I can watch over and over again. All right, coming in fourth place is Scream 3. Now, a lot of fans will say Scream 3 has always been the weak link of the chain, right? It is the weakest of all the Scream movies. They're all great, but that was the least great, I guess you can say. But for me, I like Scream 3. I think I like it more than a lot of other people do. I thought it was unique with only having one killer. I didn't mind that. I do like how they brought back Randy through the VHS tape. That was great. Which Randy is my favorite character, and I hated that he died in Scream 2, but it really did tug at your heartstrings there. So having his loss was a big hit for the fans, but the fact that they were able to bring him back in Scream 3, I thought that was brilliant. I love that. So, Scream 3, I mean, it's not without its flaws, right? But it's not as bad as, I don't think it's nearly as bad as some people make it out to be. So, Scream 3, I give it 8 stars. All right, we're coming in into at the bottom three here, and coming in fifth place is Scream 5, called just Scream. Whatever. So there's things I like about this film, and the things I don't. The things I liked about it, I liked they were able to bring back Billy Loomis as kind of a ghost or a vision. You find out that he has a daughter with someone else, and then of course she has her own family and her sister. I like the Carpenter sisters, their storyline, the core four, right, as they call it. So it was a fresh take on a new generation, new decade, new characters brought back in. Of course, you still had Sid. She was the main focus. She was still there. I like that. She's kind of passing the torch, but Sid will always be the face of Scream, just like Jamie Lee Curtis will always be the face of Halloween. So you gotta represent. Things I didn't like about this movie that brought it down a couple of notches for me was they killed off Dewey. Really? And I understand, I guess some people will argue, well, the legacy characters can't live forever. Like hell they can. But anyways, I get it. You kill off one of them, but this is the way they went about it. Really? He went back to put a bullet in Ghostface's head, and then Ghostface comes up. And given who the killer was, I feel like he might have put up a bigger of a fight. He's probably, taller and stronger than who the Ghostface was, but I guess, catch him off surprise, that did it. But I didn't like it. It's one thing if he went out in a heroic way, like he sacrificed himself, saving the Sioux, others can live. I think that would have been great. But wait, hold on, guys. I could go back and put a bullet in his head, and then he gets killed. I didn't like that. Did not like that at all. And Dewey is my second favorite character that they now have killed off. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. So I give Scream 5 6 stars. Okay, coming in at 6th place is Scream 6. So I was excited when the 6th one came out. I was upset that Sid wasn't going to be back. They weren't paying the actress as what she's worth, Ned Campbell, which I thought was unfair. Love to see her back. But I guess they were also, I think the directors and the writers are trying to prove that they can make a Scream movie without Sid being in the movie. I mean, I haven't checked the numbers, but I think the movie did pretty well at the box office. But besides that, this is the reason why this movie's in 6th place. I when I was watching this film, I felt like, okay, I feel like I'm watching just another Scream movie. So before I get into the negatives, the positives, that opening scene was brilliant. I love the opening scene. Some of the kills are a little more brutal for Ghostface, so all that, great. Negatives, yes, I did feel like I was watching another Scream movie. There weren't too many people for the audience to assume might be the killer. He had very, very few people, and then the review was a letdown. I'm like, really? They were trying to copy Scream 2. How about trying to copy a movie like Scream 2? Do something unique. That opening scene was unique. The killer didn't have to be the entire family. I'm like, really? The whole family's psychotic? Very frustrating. I felt Scream 6 was a letdown. I did like they bring back Kirby. That was great, but I also felt that she was underused, yeah, so I can go in deeper. Maybe I will in a different video, but right now, let's wrap this up. Scream 6, I give 5 stars. On to the next. Okay, coming in at last place is Scream 7 because it sucks. So, things I liked about Scream 7. Well, I do like that they brought back Sid to see what Sid's up to many years later. She's now married. She's got her daughter. I think that's great. I love that. Love seeing that for one of my favorite characters in a horror movie. She's living in a small town. All that good stuff. Nothing wrong with that. It's not Woodboro, but whatever. She owns a little coffee shop, which I think is cool. I'm a big coffee drinker, so I think that was awesome. So yeah, and I think the first act of the film was strong, but then it went downhill fast after that. All right, so some of my negatives. Why this is on the bottom of my list. This had to be the worst reveal in a Scream movie. Hands down. I thought Scream 6 was bad, and I didn't think they can get any worse than Scream 6, and they proved me wrong. Way to go, guys! So, Scream 7, like I said, the reveal sucked. We all wanted Stu back, and they, instead of bringing back Stu, you have these two random nobodies that we learned very little about in the film, and who were Ghostface. And then when, what's her name? The woman, I forget her name. We'll just call her Ghostface 1. Starts doing her whole monologue, like normal Ghostface do. Like, I didn't understand what she was saying. She was just saying words. It's just blah, 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 blah. And I had to go back and oh, that was the motive? The motive was so stupid. It was weak. That's like one of the weakest motives in the Scream franchise. Oh, my good Lord. That ruined the movie. And they brought back Stu Macher, everyone's favorite Ghostface. Everyone loves Stu. He is hands down the most beloved serial killer in movie history. Stu. Brought him back through AI. And, that wouldn't have been bad. I know they're playing into the whole new technology. AI is a big thing now. People love it. People hate it. It's there, whether you like it or not. And the way they brought it back, it didn't make sense. It's like, why would you do it that way? And then they had all these other ideas in the movie, and I felt like instead of fleshing out the script and making a good movie, because you could have too many good ideas for a film, and that makes a bad film, because then you just get a hot mess that doesn't go anywhere. I call these like a Frankenstein film. Oh, this is a good idea. This is a good idea. I like this. Let's just sew them all together and let the monster loose. People will buy money for that, right? So, very frustrating. There's parts in the movie I liked. Like I said, Sid coming back. The first act was great. Oh, and then they burnt down Stu Macher's house. Why? So you're telling me, and that was never explained in the movie. That was never explained. That's one of those ideas. They're probably in the office talking about the script. Hey guys, what if Ghostface whacks off a couple of nobodies, then burns down that Stu house? Isn't that great? They're like, yeah, let's do that. And then it was never explained why. And they're not even in California. They're like over the Midwest somewhere. Like, what the heck? So Ghostface flies to California, kills two people, burns down Stu's house, flies back home. For what? There was no purpose of that. You wasted time. You wasted money. Ghostface has a job. He needs to work. He can't be going, to California burning down houses. That's not cool. I had high hopes for this film. High hopes. And it was a letdown. Anyways, I should make a video where I just rant about Scream 7. That's a great idea. So anyways, I'll wrap up. I give this movie 3 stars. Yes, 3 stars because it sucks. The reveal sucked. The first act was great. You brought Sid back. That's why it's getting 3 stars. But you're minus 7 stars for everything else. Way to go, guys. Okay. Well, guys, with that said, that is my favorite Scream movies ranked. Some are definitely better than others. And with that said, happy Halloween and keep on watching horror movies. Till next time, bye.